Hey, Dr. Roger Hannegriff here with the agribusiness sector, and today we are talking about that important term for companies to develop, and that is a strategy. So how are strategies developed? Well, I would say strategy is connected to a company trying to be what we would call unique. As companies are marketing and promoting themselves, becoming strategic is becoming unique. So what makes you different than the other companies? That might be one of the things that we want to do as a company, and that builds strategy. What are some tools to get that done? Well, there's quite a few tools, and one of the ones today that I'm going to go over with you and look at some examples is called SWOT analysis. Now, SWOT analysis is a concept that really you might say, hey, it's just common sense. But there's a lot of ways to become more strategic and apply common sense, and these kind of acronyms help us a little bit to get that done. We're also going to take a look at some companies. I have a couple of examples here. One of these is a company called Moink, which promotes locally raised and connected to farmer products. They have a lot of strategic efforts they have placed here on their website. You can kind of see an example. One of those is they talk about wild caught from the farm straight to the consumer. They've also got this idea of boxes that you can kind of keep ordering simple. Just put it together in a box, and I don't really have to pick each product. Just what are some preset boxes? All of those concepts have implications or connections to what we can look at in SWOT analysis. I also have another company, GoodStock, which is a Nolan Ryan marketing company on beef products, and you can see right here on their webpage, it is really about promoting products from the farm right to you as the consumer. And they even have a quote from Temple Grandin, using Temple Grandin, which is a great person in animal science that really designed animal handling pens for beef cattle processing. So kind of appealing to that concept of animal welfare. These are all attributes of what makes these companies become strategic and unique, and you can connect it to SWOT analysis. So what is SWOT analysis? Let's take a look at how it works. Well, SWOT analysis is a simple approach to look at, first of all, what are the strengths that we have as a company. And the strengths that you might look at as a company are, what are we good at? And so really you just list these things out. Now, in addition to things you're good at, it's also important for companies to look at what they are weak in. So what are their weaknesses? And really a question here is, what do we need help with? And so you would list those things out. If you start looking at companies like Moink or even Nolan Ryan Beef, these are examples of companies that probably at some point were good at finding locally sourced agricultural products. They probably started out at a much smaller market region, just to local places they could ship to easily or maybe come pick it up. Nolan Ryan Beef has basically got a storefront where you can come and pick the product up there, or they can ship it to you as well. So these are examples of what companies obviously must have been good at. That's what they framed their business around. What do they need help with? I can see examples of these companies probably at first not really sure how to ship product. The way shipping happens with frozen product and trying to make sure that's timely and it is on time. A lot of that has developed with shipping companies getting a whole lot better at shipping product and being able to track that product, but through barcodes. So these are all things that originally were hard, but they became strengths of the companies. And so when you look at what a company's good at and you look at what a company might need help with that they manage, these are what we call the internal aspects of SWOT. So internal means inside of the company. So as a company tries to become more strategic, the first thing they typically start with is, what are we good at and where do we need help? And so then we start to work from there. Now I'm kind of going to draw a quadrant here because SWOT analysis has got 4 parts. The other parts are going to be something that we can label as opportunity. Opportunities are going to be listed here, but these are not internal to our company. These are things that are external to our business. So they are the external aspects of SWOT, whereas the internal aspects of SWOT are listed right up here at the top. So opportunities would be looking outside of the company. These example companies fit perfectly into that. Today, consumers want to know where their food comes from. They are interested in things like ethical treatment of animals. It's become a really big push out there, and it's an opportunity in the marketplace. These are not part of Nolan Ryan Beef or Good Texas Stock or Moink. These are things that society throws out. And so these companies are squarely seeing these opportunities and connecting them into their marketing because it's part of what they can help build their strengths. All right, so if we continue across opportunities, there's also things that could hurt you out there in the market. Threats. Those threats, once again, are bulleted out, listing, and things that you might look at. In other words, if a company is got a marketing campaign and they're trying to think of how can we become very strategic and unique out there in society, these opportunities in the marketplace can be converted into strengths. These threats of things that might hurt you can become a strength if you manage to convert them from a threat into maybe a strength or convert them into an opportunity. And so that kind of brings us to these example companies. You can see right there on their homepage, I think with the Moink product, you can see they've got a free steak added to every order. I think they're worried about the threat of economic downturn, of people feeling like, hey, this is a luxury. I need to actually kind of just stop doing this. Maybe I need to just buy cheaper product, and maybe I could just buy it locally at the grocery store whenever I need it, not get a big box. You can see that they've probably thought to themselves, you know, people are concerned about money. Let's give a little lagniappe, as my grandfather would say, a little something extra that we could plug into that. So that's kind of maybe part of their strategy. You see it right here on their webpage. So what is the use of SWOT? Is it the function of just listing some stuff in a table? The answer is no. There's really two kind of functions of SWOT, and one of those I like to talk about and call it conversion. So what is conversion? Conversion is taking the things that are threats or taking the things that are weaknesses and basically taking these deals and converting them into opportunities or converting them into strengths. So the idea of taking things that would hurt us or taking things that we're not good at, and how can we utilize those and plug those into our marketing strategy? And so that's something that we want to take, that we want to use SWOT analysis to get that done. And number two would be a match. You can also think about that there are opportunities out there in the marketplace, and how can those become equal to our strengths? And if you can take these concepts, these bullets, organize them, vet them out, talk through your company, talk to the customers that are out there. If you're building a marketing plan, then these are tools you have to employ right away. To the best of your ability, list out, bullet all the things that you think you're good at or you are good at. Bullet out all the things you think that you might need help in, you're not very good at. We could sure be better here. Our costs are too high. What can we do to improve upon that? Our shipping time is too long. We don't really have shipping confidence that it'll be there when it's supposed to be, so we can't ship things. These are things that you need help in. And so inside of your company, you want to list those out. Then you want to look outside of your company, out into society and the marketplace, and think about what are some opportunities out there that you feel like might exist. Maybe they're coming in the future or they're already here. Really big picture things, not a part of your company, again, outside. And then finally, what are some things that are out there that would hurt you? Bullet those things out. Then stop and back up and say, how can we convert these things that might hurt us and we're not good at, what can we do to flip these into opportunities or better manage them? Or what can we do to match the opportunity out there with what we are good at? And these companies I'm sharing with you are an example, and they are an application of what I would imagine to be some sort of SWOT analysis that the company's completed to really land in these strategies. But it's a concept that you can always apply. It's applied to universities, educational institutions, all the way to companies that supply us products and services. So SWOT analysis, a great tool in marketing to once again build strategy, which is the same thing as becoming unique. This tool might help. Thanks.